Hello, lovelies. How are you this week? So, let me see where I start this video, our journey into buying our manufactured home. So, we have the land, we picked out the model home we want, we got the house prepped and ready for sale, we sold the house. So we were still living in our current house. So we thought we would take care of little odds and ends uh in dealing with the land prep and everything before we actually move to that area. So this video is going to be talking about um permits, the various permits that we had to secure before we can do anything on the property. And it was a surprise to me the many permits that we had to obtain and get. I just assumed the only permit that we needed was the building permit. But unbeknownst to us, as we did a little digging and research, we found out that we needed several permits. And some of the permits we didn't find out until the last minute. When we applied for one permit, they said, well, do you have such and such permit? And we was like, well, we didn't know about such and such permit. And I was telling Tyrone, I said, they should have like a cheat sheet. When you call a certain office and they, by their telephone, they have listed the other items a homeowner may need, because especially if you're new to the area, we don't know how you roll. Okay. So it's new to us on more than one occasion. So these are the permits that we had to get. We had to get a water line permit, a sewer line permit, a driveway permit, a zoning permit, a building permit, electric easement permit. We had to do a recordation of the easement, and we had to get a permit for the electrical pole. And then the one that they threw in on us at the last minute, we had to get a digging permit for the water line. And so we was like, well, hey, why didn't you tell us this 2, 3 months ago when we applied for the water and sewer line permit? Or why didn't you tell us this when we applied for the driveway permit? Now, the first permit that we obtained before we even moved to Pennsylvania was the water and sewer line. That was easy. They emailed us the paperwork. I filled it out and I printed it out and I mailed it to them. And we got that approval 24 hours after they received the paperwork and the payment. Okay. So the other permits we took care of when we got to Pennsylvania, because we noticed that the office that we had to go to for most of the permits was around the corner from where we were staying. And so my husband will always say, when we're there, we can get so much done. When we're there, we can get so much done. Well, let me tell you, even though they less than 2 miles away from us, it didn't help. That you still have to go through the red tape and the process of waiting after you apply for the permit. So anyway, so after we applied for the water and sewer permit, we had to get a survey done. Okay. Now, didn't know we had to do that because we had, when we bought the house, not the house, the land, the original landowner had given us a plot plan, so to speak. But that wasn't enough. We needed to get a survey done. So we had to pay a survey company to come out and survey the land, and they had to do their 4 corner markings and all of that, the whole 9 yards. And we had to get the printed out plan. We needed the survey plan in order to apply for the zoning and building permit. Who knew, right? So then we applied for what I thought was the building permit, right? But it wasn't. It was the zoning permit. But put the brakes on again. After we got the survey, right, and we thought we are hunky-dory, ready to go, that we can go apply for the building permit, and they said, no, we need to have an approved driveway permit before you can even apply for the zoning permit, and you can't apply for the building permit until you get the driveway permit and the zoning permit approved. So the one that took the longest was the driveway permit. That took about 3 weeks. Okay. We had to go out and stake the yard where we want the driveway to be. And then the people from, since the street that our house is on is governed by PennDOT, we had to go this way. So it's a state-run street. So we had to go through PennDOT to get the driveway permit. It's called a HOP driveway. So like I said, that took 3 weeks. And once we got that approved, then we put in the paperwork, which I thought was the building permit, but it was the zoning permit. And that probably took about 3 days to get the zoning permit approved. So I'm thinking we ready to go. And they was like, hold up, you need the building permit approved. I'm like, I thought that's what you were. No, they were zoning. So in order to get the building permit approved, we had to supply a copy of the approved driveway permit and a copy of the approved zoning permit. So we did that, and that probably took about 2 days, no problem, right? So let me look at my list to make sure that everything is, that I've covered everything. So then after we had those permits taken care of, we got a call from Met Ed, which is Pennsylvania's equivalent to the DMV's Petco. So they came out and met with us and looked at the scope of our plan, what we wanted to take place. And, you know, the gentleman told us what we had to do, the paperwork we had to do. So we had to apply for a right-of-way easement for them to come on our property to put an electrical pole in our yard, and also for future if they had to come to do work in the future. So it's called a right-of-way easement. So we had to fill out some paperwork for that. We had to go get it notarized. Then we had to go to the office of recordation, and they had to record it legally. And it's almost like a deed. You know what I'm saying? So they had to record it. And so then then they had to mail that to us. And then after we got that, I had to mail that to Met Ed for them to process. Okay. So, where am I at? I'm getting lost. Okay. So we had all that squared away, right? We had all the paperwork squared away. We had all the permits approved and everything. And then we spoke with the company that is going to put in the water sewer line. And then she said, hey, do you have an HOP? Okay. And we was like, yeah, we had to do that for the driveway. So we mailed her a copy of that permit. She said, no, that's for your driveway. That's not for us, you know, to dig into the main street to connect to the water sewer line at the main line and then run it into your yard. Okay. How am I supposed to know that? I mean, I never received a book, you know, a manual or nothing. How are we supposed to know that if nobody tell us? My thing is that we have been going through the approval process with the permits and everything at this point for about maybe 2.5 months. Okay. So why didn't somebody tell us that back then when we could have applied? The same time we applied for the driveway permit, we could have also applied for the digging of the water sewer line at the same time. And we got that approved. Today's date is August the 28th. We had submitted that in June and got that approved July 13th. Okay. So that's what, 5 weeks ago that was been approved, right? So now you're just telling me that we need this other permit. So that could take another 3 weeks. So nothing can be done until that permit is approved. Are you kidding me? So that's why I say do as much research as you can. Ask as many questions as necessary, even if you have to ask the same question over and over to make sure that you are following the process, doing the right thing, and everything is covered so that when these things have to be done, that you can move forward and you're not delayed because you're waiting on paperwork to be handled. So that is our permit process. I I was blown away that you had all these permits. I don't know if that's just, in every building process, or if it's only in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I mean, I don't know. Chime in if you can, if you've had to deal with this before. I don't know. But anyway, we're staying positive, we're staying calm, we're staying prayed up. We're taking everything to God in prayer. Okay? This is just a pause. This is not a delay. This is not denial. This is just a pause. We are moving full stream ahead. Okay? All right. So this particular video is short. That's all I got to cover on the permit process. I will list the cost of each permit that we had to pay for so you can get a general idea. I'm sure it's going to be different in each city or state, but this will just give you a general idea of how much these things can cost. All right. Talk to you later. I hope you're enjoying our journey into buying a manufactured home as much as we are. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. All right. Until the next time. Bye-bye.